Hey, everybody, welcome to the show. It is Mickey Talks, episode 16, along with Matt. I will get to my guest in a moment. A couple of things of business. Number one, the show today is brought to you by Barnes Paving. I could not be happier. Ladies and gentlemen,
Paving.
It took 15 shows, and we got a sponsor. Basically, 2.5 weeks, Matt, of shows.
It's unbelievable, man.
It's crazy. I thank everyone so much for watching. The numbers have been incredible. Barnes Paving, I'm going to talk more about them in a little bit. I wanted to just let you know the show is brought to you by Barnes Paving, and thank you so much to those kind people who I'm going to talk about in a little while. Firstly, Matt, before we say anything, I'm stopping the show dead, and I'm rewinding to yesterday and wishing your beautiful wife the happiest birthday
Thank you.
ever.
I think you saved my marriage right now. Thank you.
How?
You know what? Yesterday was your daughter's birthday as well,
you
right?
Son of a bitch.
Yes.
So I wrote my daughter this huge thing on Facebook.
So I'm going to wish your daughter,
thank you,
Cassie, a happy birthday.
It is very. I was hoping you would bring it up. That's so true. I felt so horrible later. I'm like, because I wrote this big thing on Facebook about my daughter, and I wrote her, and then I'm like, I didn't mention it on the show. But we both forgot. We're so nervous doing this every day, and we love both of those girls to death. So
We do. And the crazy thing is, I was scrambling to get out of here because we were going to do a birthday dinner with her yesterday.
This is hilarious.
And I was going to my favorite Chinese restaurant, which is
The Orient.
The Orient. We'll give them a
Perry
plug,
Hall.
right?
Yeah, I'll give
the
them a
Orient,
plug.
amazing Chinese food.
Yes.
And I am getting back into my car with a bag of carryout, and I look over at the car next to me. The tinted window is rolling down, and who is it?
It's
Mickey
me.
Coachella is parked right next to me, pulling in to have dinner. That's some cosmic stuff, man, as our friend Steve Huber put it.
Do we have any other business we need to get to right away, buddy?
Yes.
Anything you want to bring up?
So
Yeah,
quickly,
go ahead.
everybody should subscribe to the YouTube channel.
Yep.
Do that at Mickey Talks Pod. So
Yeah.
like podcast. P-O-D.
Why don't you comment that in there, and
Yeah.
then during the show,
We'll
people
put
can
it
link
up.
it. Yeah.
And then what was the other thing we wanted to? Oh, please share. If you're going to view this on
Yeah.
Facebook today, if you think you have some friends that are going to enjoy the show, please share it. We'd appreciate that.
Joining us today, anyone that's known me in my life in public talking or public speaking, whether it's radio or whatever I've been doing, my love for soccer is second to anything in my life. I mean, it's not second to anything in my life.
I don't mean to interrupt you, but
Yeah.
very quickly turn your phone down because it kind of bleeds.
Oh, is it really?
Right there. Yeah.
I thought it was.
Yep.
It's like my first day. Anyway, my love for soccer is no one can take it from me. When I was a little kid, that's what everybody in my neighborhood played. I grew up in the north side of East Baltimore. Herring Run Park and Patterson Park were two of the biggest soccer parks in the entire state of Maryland. Some, if not the greatest players the state ever produced, came from one of those parks.
See, I was oblivious to all that, so
Yeah.
I can't wait to get into this with you guys.
It was a culture that, I mean, it's still alive today. It's everywhere now.
Yeah.
But if you wanted to see great soccer, there were two parks you went to, and that was it. Now these clubs are, I love it as a 56-year-old man to see what soccer became when everyone told me as a kid, oh, nobody cares about that dumb game, stupid girl sport. Yeah, I got called every, homo name you could be called, like anything, just for playing soccer. And
Wow.
now it's incredible. But joining us on the show today is a man who, when I was a kid, his name was spoken as one of the greats. When he became a coach, it was known he was going to be one of the greats. He became one of the greats. I had the good fortune of getting to know this man along the way and watch his success and root for him. My brother, Chip, played on a team at Essex Community College that won a national championship, coached, and I would like to welcome to Mickey Talks the legendary Coach Pete Caringi. Hi, buddy.
It's great to be here. Thanks, man.
Pete, it means so much to me that you're doing this. I know you got your camps you're working with, and you're retired now.
Anytime for you, no problem.
Well, listen, Pete, let's get into some things right away. Let's talk about, firstly, what year did you graduate high school?
1973,
73, you graduate high school.
Calvert Hall.
Calvert Hall. I won't hold that against you, as it's the great argument of the greatest soccer school in the history of Baltimore. I can't not say that Calvert Hall is. I mean, Patterson lost its way.
Don't forget Patterson.
I was getting ready to say
a lot of
Patterson.
them are listening to this
Yes.
show.
And Curly, to me, Curly, Calvert Hall, and Patterson. Would you put another school in there that belonged in your era?
Oh no, not in our era.
And was Curly at that time a great?
Curly was.
You can't do it, can
Curly
you?
was okay. No, I mean they were good.
Now, Pete,
Patterson was it.
Yeah,
Let's be
Patterson
honest.
was probably the best school at the time, right?
Patterson until Carp came out to East Baltimore and picked up 6 of us. And
Bill Karpovich, the legendary Bill Karpovich, who never played the game, did he?
No.
Smoked on the sidelines. Taught at Calvert Hall. I went to school with Billy Karpovich, his youngest. Phenomenal soccer player,
Yes.
Phenomenal athlete, absolutely brilliant mind. What a great human being Bill Karpovich Jr. was. However, the dad, I mean, I grew up at Herring Run Park. That's where Mr. Karpovich lived. So he's a god.
Yes.
He was your coach?
Yes.
Was that early in his career?
That was it was probably midway through.
Okay.
He came down to Hollandtown at the school out where we all played.
Yeah.
And he recruited my cousin George Barry went there, and he was really the only one from East Baltimore / Hollandtown that was there.
Yeah.
And then he offered me and Gary Natowski 2 scholarships. Cost $600 to
Took
go
an
there.
Italian and a Polish guy out to Calvert Hall.
So it was a half a scholarship. $600 cost to get there. I got $300.
So Calvert Hall gave you $300 a year,
Yeah.
and it covered half your tuition.
Yeah, and my father hit the lottery, so that covered that. So,
Well, Pete, listen, you were, in the neighborhoods. That's the only way I can explain it, because that's what it was. You were one of the greats. I mean, your name is spoken. Say some other names from that era and before you. Like the people that really made this town a soccer town. Who were the guys you came up watching?
well, you go back, the original Pompey team that 58, they went to the Open Cup final. Mr. Tom Caranta,
Yeah.
Larry Sirac, Bobo Sirac, Johnny Pachaco.
They were all players at
They
the
were
time.
all players,
Right.
And we were young, so we used to go over to school a lot. We were real young, and they were over there playing.
Yeah.
So it was kind of the handing off of the baton.
Sure.
They played, and they started getting involved in coaching, and we would go over there, and obviously we were at all of them. But then it was Paul Skirty, who played on the national team. I mean, Paul would be coming over a lot.
I
every
don't
day.
think, I wish the people that, I know the people that know the game understand what you're saying. But for those of you that grew up in Baltimore and you really don't know anything about the soccer world, you're talking about guys, I believe this, Pete. Had we all been in Liverpool or Manchester, some of you guys would have played top division football. I mean,
Yeah.
there's no question.
I mean, the average person don't understand what that at that time period how good the soccer was in Baltimore.
Incredible.
Every team was going to the nationals or winning national championships.
Yeah.
And clearly, the quality of play, and it was no overcoaching. It was just going over to the park.
Yeah.
And the older guys were coaching the younger guys, and they would beat the crap out of you
Yeah.
when they played.
Yeah.
And then there was, you go out to Herring Run Park. Those guys were playing. So, but you mentioned names like Denny Witt, who played the longest in the NASL. Denny was a great player.
Denny is the longest
to ever play
career in the NASL.
Yeah, and
Now,
that's unknown.
for those of you watching, and Matt, the NASL was a professional soccer league that they started in the 70s, and they brought in Pele, and he played for the New York Cosmos. But at that same time, people don't understand this. Giorgio Canaglia, considered the greatest striker of his era from Italy. George Best, who arguably Pele called the greatest player he ever saw. These guys were in this league. Now, granted, towards the end of their career, but these guys, there were guys from Baltimore, Sonny,
yeah. Well, and you don't want to get me started because I'll be here for like 3 hours. But
Yeah.
But clearly that era had so many good players that even here in our own state we don't appreciate it.
It's incredible. It's ridiculous to me.
Because the amount of talent, and I look at the Maryland soccer
Hall of Fame list.
Not the Maryland soccer, but the Maryland Hall of Fame, Maryland Hall of Fame list for all athletes, and I find no one from that era.
It's
in there.
crazy.
It's crazy. I mean, John Huska played in front of 70,000 people.
Yeah.
Sonny played against the great Pelé
Yeah.
on ABC TV. I mean, Sonny's walking down Pratt Street, and next thing you know, he's on national TV, and people don't appreciate the quality and how good players were.
Well, now, what do you attribute that to? Just the quality of good player? Was it just because there were these amazing coaches and players around? I mean, what I'm really asking is, like, could you have taken? Is it more about? Is it just pure talent, or is it a combination of coaching and talent? Could you take a mediocre soccer player like me and bring me up to a decent level?
Well, in some cases you could, but
Yeah.
to answer your question, it was a culture. The culture was soccer was everything, and but there was no coaching. There was no overcoaching. You went over the park, you took your ball, you played. There was 5 more guys. You got a small-sided game. Next thing you know, you're in a game and you're playing against Paul Skirty. He just come back from the national team tryouts. Sonny Askew, Pete Notaro, Tommy Wall. Keep going on.
Tommy T. Wall.
And then the next team comes on is a whole Ernie Cox, who was first-team All-American. And this was just neighborhood
This was the
guys.
neighborhood.
They were walking to the field and playing. So it was an amazing time, and probably all of us didn't appreciate it as much as we should have.
So the bar was just set very high.
The bar
very
was
early.
set
Yeah.
high.
And I'll say something, because I am like really the second wave after Pete. Because if you graduated 73, I'd say that next group of guys, I would take that from 73 to maybe 80 was that core, and then from 80 to 80 whatever. I was kind of in that area, and I was nowhere near this level. Nowhere. I just loved the game. My brother Chip was great, but when we went to the park, I don't think people really understand it. Soccer wasn't on television. We didn't watch. We watched the park.
Yeah.
The guys that were on the field at Herring Run, and you drive down to Patterson Park, those were the greatest players in the world. We didn't know.
These kids today are spoiled because of all the games. They get to see soccer from all over the world. We for the World Cup, we used to get 2 carload of guys, drive over to D.C., go into a movie theater, and watch.
Closed simulcast, whatever it was called.
Yeah, you couldn't see it on TV back then. Here,
And we even watched the World Cup. That was
Yeah.
the only thing that came on was the final on ABC, but everything else. So we'd have all these guys from Baltimore driving over to D.C. and watching these games.
Just to watch the World Cup
Watch the
final.
World Cup.
Right.
But that's part of it. It's the culture of. We loved it. We loved watching the game. We loved playing the game. We definitely weren't overcoached, but we had sponsors. People would support us. People would put up their own money.
Some of them sponsors.
Some of them sponsors were great.
They were the best.
But they all have stories to them too. All our sponsors, and they were fantastic. But once again, didn't get recognized, and people in the community all knew who they were, and people respected them because they invested back into the kids, the neighborhood kids.
It was crazy.
Rather than using their money for other activities.
That's amazing.
When I think back to that generation of you guys, that late 60s into the 70s, to me, I didn't know the men before it like you spoke of, and I never even saw any of them do anything. But I hear the reverence you guys, so I know it. But watching all of you and learning from all of you, and Pep Perella was our guy. I mean, Pep was so great, and he coached us, all those Hang Run kids. He coached us from the time we were like 8 years old, all the way through high school, and Pep's coaching style, I'll never forget. I'll tell a great story about Pep. I was at Towson Catholic when he went there, and my brother and we literally in 1 year that program got good real quick. And we're driving back from a game against Spalding, and I kind of made a really dumb pass out of the back and played it out to my right back, and he was swarmed, and they got it, threw it across, and they scored. And it was late in the game, and we get on the bus or the van, and Pep looks at me in front of the team, and he says, that was the dumbest thing you could have done, right? And I deserved it, right? And I said, instead of going, all right, coach, sorry, I look back and I literally said, I don't think it was dumb. And he starts yelling, and I start yelling. He was so mad at me, he grabbed my spikes and my gloves, rolled the window down, threw them out of the van on 95, going about 80 miles an hour. I'll never forget this. Doesn't say a word to me, right? And I'm crushed. I mean, he's a hero, and I'm crushed, and I know I should have kept my mouth shut. He doesn't say anything. We get back to school. We go home. The next day, I get there, and all I'm thinking about in school all day is, Pep is going to kill me in practice. I am dead. I show up at practice, and there he is, and he's got a brand new pair of spikes, and a brand new pair of gloves. And he goes, "Did you learn anything yesterday?" And I said, "Yes." He goes, "Well, what did you learn?" I said, "I shouldn't pass the ball out of the back." He goes, "Wrong. When I talk, just listen and shut up." And I went, "Yes, sir." And that was the end of it. I loved Pep, but you guys, this is the thing I want to talk about, Pete, that I don't know if you get enough credit for. And you may not take this well. It's one thing to be a great soccer player. It's another thing to be a great soccer coach. But it's a whole nother world when people truly talk about the character you are and the man you are and how much all of these kids that have played for you over the years look to you as a second father, as the wisest man that's ever been in their life, Pete. And that, my friend, is your true legacy. Your playing was unbelievable. Your coaching second to none. But the way your players speak of you, my friend, is why this town and these soccer people adore you. You are one in a million. You're the reason so many of these guys have been recognized. And I hope you truly understand that everyone that's ever played for you or been around you has the utmost respect and admiration for who you are.
Well, I appreciate you saying that. But I think it's just, having two great parents being brought up and being brought up the right way. And I just had a passion for both playing and coaching. And I think when you do, like you do, you're so good behind the mic.
Yeah.
I found that my passion was, one, playing and competing.
Yeah.
Became a competition freak.
You know what I used to love about watching you coach, by the way? And you understand this when you play the game or the passion, you're animate. Like if a guy gets the ball and he's coaching and he's on the side, I'm standing up so people can see this. He does the play like the kid. He'll turn like pat, and he's like showing. Right. I love that about you.
I get that.
I love that about you, Pete.
Well, I laugh about it now because this next generation likes to just sit on the bench.
Yeah.
And people asked me, like, why didn't you? I said, well,
I don't know
that's not how
how.
it was brought up. Like we were brought up to compete, to show our emotion. And too many guys now, and girls, just sit there. I mean, they literally can sit on the bench with their legs folded and smoke a cigarette if they could, and just be that relaxed. And that was just I wasn't brought up that way, but clearly I was also blessed to be born in a community and a time in Baltimore that the soccer was second to none, and we were very proud of Baltimore.
Did you know how good you guys were at the time? Did you know? Yeah, we're legit.
I think we start finding out how good we are when we were like 14 and 69. Tom's Produce went to they were all guys from out Herring Run, and a couple other guys. They went to the National Final Four.
That was the U.S. Open, right? Or whatever they call that.
Under 19 national.
Yeah.
And that's a big cup. It's a big national cup. And so in 19, only 4 teams go to it. And they lost in the final. And then in 1970, we started sending more teams. And then Casabianca went in 70. And then 71, Casabianca went. And Pep came and played for them.
Wow.
And we're talking about a neighborhood team that's just has a sponsor who covers certain things.
A liquor store.
That's incredible. That really is.
That we're like, it's the whole story. It is a movie, and I guess I get frustrated because I'm reading about this New Jersey area today. I read a story about it, how the history of their soccer. It can't compare to us because they had more money, they had more of everything. We were
literally, it was neighborhood
teams. So in 71, 72, they went to the finals. So almost 5 years in a row. And then now as they got into college, Essex won in 74, all Baltimore players. No players. And saying that today is impossible in college sports.
Well, you know, Pete, now that I'm back in media and clearly going to be the king of the town again.
Right? Glad to have Mickey back. There's parties going on in every bar in East Baltimore that's open. A lot of them are closed. And Liberatories, if you get there right now and you go ask for Phil, you'll get a large bottle of water.
Yeah, you get 3 cents off your dinner. People, it's so wild, when I hear you say that. Are there videos of that old footage? Is there any picture? Like, I would love, and I could pull this off. I'm the guy that could. I don't say it cocky. I would love to get me, Keith Mills, you, and make a documentary. I mean, The story itself is. It needs to be told. That's why you're here right now.
Even one of those neighborhood, you know how they have like a Parkville book and a Fells Point book? Like something like that would be cool.
Dude,
too.
I think if this story was told nowadays, because America, whether people want to admit it or not, it is embracing soccer.
Yeah.
I mean, that league now, the MLS, although we're not getting top tier yet, at 22 years old or whatever. These foreign players are realizing this market is massive. That if the market will embrace soccer and the U.S. can figure out a way to get their head out of their ass at the national level with the coaches and the board, I'm not going to get you in this conversation. You should have been coaching the men's national team 20 years ago. Anybody that knows anything knows it. I'm glad you didn't in a way because, but if they get that straight, Pete, I think St. Louis, I think Seattle, I think New Jersey, there's amazing stories, but the Baltimore story is the most unique.
No question.
There literally was no one organizing it. No. It just organically became a hotbed of some of the greatest players you could imagine. I used to watch guys at Herring Run Park, and I used to think to myself, I'll never be that good. And these were guys that I'd see drunk 2 days later walking down Harford Road, almost getting hit by a car. I mean, these guys were wacky.
They're neighborhood guys.
They're just neighborhood guys. Right. And the story's incredible. So we're going to do that, Pete.
But finally, 1975, we're honoring our University of Baltimore team. We won the national championship NCAA, and every player on the team was from Baltimore. And the next year, every team was from Baltimore. Loyola College won it. So that's 2 back-to-back Baltimore-dominated teams won an NCAA championship. Unheard of. And it was just such a great era. Those kids all went to the local high schools. All of them went to the local colleges. Great players, great people, stayed back in their communities. And it was just, to answer his question, first off, it's a culture. Like, you grew up, you played soccer. We played other sports.
Yeah, we all played other sports.
Yeah. They took 6 of, first of all, Coach Adele did something that I've never seen in recruiting. He parked his car at Pompey School Church and walked over and signed Gino Panacchia to a letter of intent, walked around the corner, got Joe Maggitti, signed him to a letter of intent, came down and got me down at the end of the block. And then he went around the corner and got Richie DeSantis, and then he got Louis Spath. That's unheard of. 5 All-Metro players. Coach Adele said
that's a trip.
He didn't have to
2 blocks apart.
That he didn't have to start. He didn't have to start the engine. That's unheard of.
Yeah, dude, think about that.
Like there's no sport
in the world where that happens.
Or any that happened. But just it's crazy.
It's wild, man. And the soccer culture really is a thing. You see a guy, we go into Santos, or we go in Libertores, and you run into those guys, you're best friends immediately because you grew up in it. I don't know how to explain it. It is a family apart from families. Isn't it, Pete?
Well, because nobody, the other thing was nobody really ever gave you anything. We were disrespected outside of our area because it was always New Jersey or St. Louis or even the national team coaches. Not to blow my own horn, I went to Olympic tryout, and there's not many people. We played 5 games in the week over up in what was the mountains?
Catskills?
No, over
Poconos?
Colorado.
Oh, Colorado.
I went out there, and I scored 9 games. 5 games, I scored 9 goals. True story. 9 goals. Nobody else was even close.
Wow.
Olympic tryouts. I got home, and the next thing I got to talk to the guy called me, and he said, well, you didn't get picked, but you did really well. I said, I didn't get picked. Who in the hell got picked? But they got a guy from St. Louis, and it was a guy from New Jersey, and it was all politics.
It's been that way ever since.
It's been that before me with Larry Sorokin and all them. It's been that with all these guys. Timmy Whitman, all those kids, the politics of it was really bad. It
was like a money thing? Is that what it came down to?
No, it's
a power control.
You know somebody, he knows somebody. He sent them. Nobody sent me. I just went there. They see me what I did in college, but
play 5 games, you scored 9 goals, you didn't make the team. Yeah. Did somebody that day score 10, Pete?
Nobody. It's what one of the guys said. I swear to God, and to this day, I'll never let a forward have to worry about defense. guy said, you don't really play defense well. I said, yeah, you're right. I don't.
I scored 9 goals.
I don't. I'm not a defender. So to this day, if one of my forwards,
Yeah.
when I was coaching them, he said, well, I would never ever get on them about playing defense. You
Right.
score goals, and that's good enough. For
My
me.
brother used to. I think it might have been. I think it was my brother. One time, somebody like joking around called him a cherry picker, and he goes, "I don't drop the cherry." And I was like, "That's a good damn point right there, man."
You score goals, and that's what you get paid.
Yeah.
for.
Yeah.
Pete, when now that these games are on everywhere, and we watch the greatest players in the world, and you've seen all these systems, and had you been exposed to all this like these kids are today, do you think you would have been a better or a different player?
I think, me personally, I would have probably not been as good.
I agree with you.
Because we were all what we did was basically in these time and era
Yeah.
is impossible. We went over to school lot every night and picked
play-
teams.
I did it in the
and
bank
played.
lot, yeah.
And then when we were done playing, we'd go up and play some basketball.
Right.
Then when we played softball, we played every sport, but soccer was the main sport, and we picked the games and we played all the time. So that when I went to college for the first time, I was playing that summer against Charlie Myers, one of the best players.
Yeah.
Denny Witt, one of the best players. Ian Reed, they were all down at school out playing. So I was going into college, but I had played against that summer all those.
Yeah,
Wow.
you were
Wow.
taking a step down.
So when I went to, and I used to think in my mind when I played against people that we had the best players. So we played somebody from out of town. Like, it didn't matter who they were. They couldn't
couldn't
be better
compete.
than what I
Couldn't
was
touch it.
practicing
Right.
with
Right.
down at school at. And
Hey,
that was my mindset to this day. To this day, unfortunately, that's still how I think.
Pete, when you look back on all those great players and that great era and all that, you got to UB now.
Yeah.
Was the University of Baltimore a soccer school in those days, or did you guys make it one?
It was a soccer school, but wasn't getting recognized like
Okay.
anything else. And then when Coach Adele got there, he had a name. He didn't know nothing about soccer. He was a lacrosse coach. And, so he recruited all these guys. We respected them,
Without any knowledge of the game, you
Didn't-
respected him. Why?
because he carried that air of
Yeah.
being a coach.
He was a leader.
He's a leader. And
Yeah.
when he went in the locker room, he said stuff to you. You listened.
Yeah.
And nobody crossed him. And there was that respect that, and we knew he never came across like he was a great soccer knowledge.
Right.
He never said to me, just listen to me.
Right.
If
Yeah.
you had a problem, then he had two good assistants with him
Right.
that were helping him.
Yeah.
But he had this air about him, and literally he did a great job of recruiting. He emphasized something that was never emphasized before, education.
Yeah.
Which if I
You
didn't get,
missed that clearly. No, I'm kidding.
no, but if I didn't get my degree, I wouldn't have got. Couple
Right.
guys didn't get their degrees.
Yeah.
And then that's one of my big recruiting spiels for years was, you don't get your degree, you can be the best soccer player in the world, you're not going to get a job. And a lot of these guys wanted to go into coaching. So some guys left early, went and played. Sonny went right out of Essex.
Yeah.
Signed. And
Yeah.
then he's playing with the best. He played in the midfield with the best player in the world, Johan Cruyff. That's
Let me explain Johan Cruyff to
playing with LeBron James.
Yeah.
to the average person listening right now
Yeah.
doesn't understand soccer. Johan Cruyff was Dutch. He invented a move, basically they call the Cruyff turn.
Yeah.
He was without a doubt a magician, light years ahead of his time. He then retires from playing, goes to Barcelona, Spain, and creates basically a system that we watched develop over 25 years that the world embraced and now uses, and the greatest teams in the world are all students of the Barcelona
No kidding.
Cruyff system. So that's the guy he's talking about that Sonny Askew from East Baltimore played next to. I mean, it's ridiculous when you really think about it. What does Sonny do? Is he
Now
in town?
he's in town.
I've never met the man.
No?
I've never crossed
You
his
will
path.
meet him. You will
I
meet
can't
him.
wait.
There's another show in town that mentioned Sonny that they don't, and I called Sonny up.
Yeah.
I'm good friends with
Yeah.
him, and I said, we got to call this guy up.
To have Sonny come in here would mean the world to me. I mean,
we'll
I would love to do that.
I'll be his agent.
All right, I'm gonna put you on the spot, and then we're gonna do the show, Pete. Here's the questions. I'm gonna let you name your Mount Rushmore of Baltimore soccer players. I need your top 5. I'm gonna put another face on it, but top 5 players. I want you to leave you out, That's not fair for you. I'll put you in mine, but I'll leave you out of this. Give me your top 5 Mount Rushmore.
Well, like any sport, and I think if you ask for that question in any sport, I think it would be a tough.
Of course it is. But the
Top
Pete
five,
Caringi
the top
wish list.
5. Okay, I have to go with Larry Sirach.
Brilliant. Yeah.
I mean, he's been mentioned as
The greatest.
the greatest.
Yeah.
I'll go with Sonny Askew.
Yep.
I'll go with Santino Caranta.
Now, Santino is younger than us, Matt.
Yes.
Santino Caranta is, we'll talk about, he'll be on the show one day. And plus, he's too damn good looking. That's my problem with Santino. You can't be that great and that good looking.
And
Two more.
I'll throw in, I'll put Timmy Whitman in there.
Wow.
And 5, I'll leave that open for anybody that wants to
That's a great way to answer
throw
that.
it, because there's a lot of, and you know, it's as you know, it's like asking what's the top 5 what's the top 5 DJs in Baltimore in the last 30
It's an
years?
impossible
That's easy.
question.
I'll
It's an
start.
impossible
Mickey
question.
is 1.
Mickey Coachella, 2. Mickey Jr., 3.
Pete Iver's 4. And Chip, his brother's
yeah,
5.
5. You know, Pete, it's just so wild that we were a part, especially you made it, but I was a part of such a cool community that has since grown out of control, and these clubs now. What do you think of the club system? I mean, I don't know if you're in it. Do you own a club? And it's not even, doesn't even interest you, does it?
No, because it's, you know, I mean, I give credit to all the people who
Yeah.
own clubs, because it's the way, that's the nature of how the
To
soccer's
grow the
going.
game. Yeah. Yeah.
And when I was coaching, I got involved with coaching. I did it a lot like the Baltimore way. I call it the Baltimore way.
Yeah.
I took a neighborhood team. It was all neighborhood kids. We went to Canada. We won we played for the North American Championship.
Yep.
We took 9 hours to get there. We arrived the night before the game, and we had to play a St. Louis team that's been out in their hotel rested, and they have 3 people there that were basically people that were in charge of their group of
Yeah.
state
Yeah.
officials, and they asked me where our state official was.
You're looking at him.
I had me, my father, and Mr. Tom Caranta. And Mr. Tom Caranta became our state official and sat in on a meeting, and they had the game scheduled for the next morning, and we lost in overtime, double overtime, to St. Louis in a terrible call against us. But
That's the game.
that was normal for us.
Yeah.
That was just, we weren't going to get the call. We weren't going to have the 3 officials. We weren't going to have Bush on our uniforms, St. Louis, have all these officials there, basically get everything they need. And we were the ragtag kids. You know, that was Baltimore. We go there, we had the best we can get, and we play as hard as we could. And people knew it was going to be the toughest game they ever played. And win or lose, you know, we kind of felt that we were never going to get the benefit. We weren't ever going to get the call.
Pete, if you go to St. Louis or you go to Seattle, which was another good soccer city, and New Jersey, is Baltimore respected amongst the players of those eras?
I think of those eras, no doubt.
They do respect.
They knew it. Yeah,
Yeah.
I mean, because it was always Baltimore, St. Louis, Baltimore, St. Louis.
Yeah, yeah.
You know, in New Jersey, we would beat New Jersey because you had to win this region on the East Coast. So we were winning it and going every year.
Yeah.
So even they knew it.
Yeah.
And DC, we knew people there. We had
Yeah.
to beat them first. So yeah, we were well respected as players. I just think it's a matter of money.
Yeah,
You know, when
of course.
Bush, Anheuser-Busch is sponsoring your team,
It's a little easier.
Yeah.
and they're getting there they're getting there 24 hours before
Yeah.
Pompeii.
Right.
We took them. I don't know. We took 3 buses, 3 planes.
Yeah.
I can't tell you. And it's just crazy.
And well, the funny thing is, the New Jersey team sponsored by Budweiser.
Yeah.
This team sponsored by Tommy's Lounge.
Tommy's out. Yeah. Pompeii. Yeah. Mr. Tom went and got the donuts. My father went and got the milk. I mean, it was just.
It's the way it should be, though, Pete. That's why we all
Well,
ended up loving the game
and
so much.
That's why we love it, and I think that's why we have the best stories to talk
Yeah.
about it later. Those kids who played in that always appreciated everybody who helped them get and got involved with it, because we were never given anything, and everything we did, we earned it on the field, which is.
I'll tell you the true testament to the culture is this. Every year I try to go and watch as many Curly games. I started again, go and watch as many Curly games as I can. Just the love of the game. When I'm at those games and I'm looking around, I see 40 guys that are my era, your era.
Yeah.
None of them have kids in the game. None of them have a nephew.
Yeah.
We're just going to watch soccer. And it's like you go see Curly Calvert Hall every year, the Reef Cup. Chris Reef, by the way.
Yeah.
Chris Reeves.
I forgot Reefer. Oh,
Yeah, come on. Chris Reeves, one of the greatest
players. Can you
players.
go back to put...
I'll take me off
Rewind
the
this.
list.
Rewind this.
Chris Reef.
Chris, I'll call you. No,
Yeah. What an unbelievable player Chris Reef was.
Can we have code?
I want to get. I have great stories about Chris Reef.
Chris Reef and Timmy Whitman. Can we
Get them together?
Tie them for fourth.
He was great.
Yes, Chris was great.
That's
so many.
I know this list is.
Wait till I leave here.
I know you're gonna get bumped.
Oh my
You son of a
God.
bitch! How'd you forget this
Oh,
one?
how'd you forget Dale Roth? How'd you
Yeah.
forget Dale? Oh, how'd you forget him? How'd you forget Notes? How'd you forget John Shields? How'd you forget this?
He's got him
one?
in trouble, man.
Well, you know, but
Ernie Cox. Ernie Cox.
Dude.
How'd you forget that?
Hey, by the way, the UB team, did Rick Mellendick play on that team, or was that before? Or
Our first year in '73 that I went there.
Yeah.
My freshman year he played. We went to the Final Four.
Right.
Here's the other thing people don't know. University of Baltimore went to the Final Four 3 years in a row. Well,
With you?
3 out of 4. No, 2 for me.
wow,
And nobody knows that. That's
was
unheard
Bernie
of.
Casserly around
That
then?
was before.
That was before you.
Yeah.
Okay.
So in '72, I'm in high school. Coach Adele takes the BU job in soccer and lacrosse. He goes and recruits all those guys.
He just emptied out Hollandtown and brought him.
Six freshmen from the Baltimore Sun All-Metro team. They go the next year, and he don't know how to coach soccer. They go to the Final Four. Unheard of.
It's unbelievable. We got to do this documentary, Pete.
Next year, 73, my freshman year, I added with all of them. Now we got a young team. We went to the Final Four. We lost up in New England, Final Four. Next year, I break my leg, 74. We beat the team in scrimmage. Adelphi won the whole thing.
Wow.
We beat them at University of Baltimore. We just,
Yeah.
I was out the whole year. 75, we win it. University of Baltimore drops the program.
They win the national championship and go, we're done with it.
Unbelievable.
And told us
Yeah.
anybody coming in, because we had Sonny Askew was going to come,
Yeah.
Petey Notaro, all Loyola won it the next year. A lot of those guys were thinking about coming, because we had a dynasty.
It was.
And we had
Jeez.
everybody coming, and that's a lot of people.
Well, it's a school that specializes in law.
A
That's
lot-
why they're so stupid.
A lot of people don't know that, but you're finding out a lot today on Mickey's show.
Yeah,
A lot of soccer news.
yeah. A lot of soccer news.
This border, I don't know what it has in it, but I'm talking too much.
Pete, listen, man, you're a legend in this town. You know, you're up there with, as far as the soccer people go, dude, you're at the top of the hill, buddy. And it's an honor to have you. Pete, right now you're going to join along, and everybody's going to see your charming wit and amazing humor as we do. That's the Facts, Matt. Today brought to you by Barnes Paving. And at the end of the show, you're going to get an amazing little thing about them. Let's hear more
Thank you,
about
Barnes
it.
Paving. We
Yes,
appreciate you.
absolutely.
I don't know if you guys heard, but there is a UK woman now who has given birth after a womb transplant. Have you
A
heard
what?
that? Wow. She's had a womb, like her.
Okay, I have a question. I'm not being funny.
Yeah.
Was she always a woman? Like, I'm not. Was this
Yes.
a trans thing, or
Yes. She's always been a woman.
she needed a new? You can get a new womb.
Well, this is the first
Now
time
you
it's
can.
ever happened.
Now you can.
Yeah.
Pete said it.
Now you can, yes. Grace Davison, a 36-year-old NHS dietitian from North London, has become the first woman in the UK to give birth after a womb transplant. Grace was diagnosed as a teenager with a rare condition where the uterus is underdeveloped or absent, and in 2023, her 42-year-old sister, Amy, donated her uterus to Grace after having 2 children of her own.
I'm not going to lie. I know absolutely nothing about female biology and all that stuff. I don't know what's going on down there. Never tried to figure it. I know it's stuff I'm not supposed to know about. But when you say the word womb, doesn't that combine a bunch of, or is that just like the little pouch that the baby sits in?
It's the uterus.
That is the womb? The uterus is the
Yeah,
womb?
yeah.
Okay. So you can get a new uterus?
What I'm wondering is, can guys get a uterus? Because here's what I see happening. I see the wife go, and listen, Chad,
You want to have a baby?
if you want to have a baby,
Yeah.
you're going to get a uterus
The
transplant.
problem is, what do they tie it to? And that baby's got to come out of that? I don't think
And-
that's going to work.
And you're going to breastfeed it, too. You're going to get some breast implants. right?
Yeah, I'm not signing up for that. No way. That's a crazy story,
It is a
man.
crazy story.
A womb transplant.
Well, this is crazy too. This is what went down in Philly. Grieving Philadelphia family is demanding an apology and a refund from a cemetery after pallbearers carrying the casket of a family member fell into the grave. I don't know if you guys saw a video of
The
this.
casket fell in the grave?
Well, the casket, along with about eight people,
Everybody
fell
fell
into the hole in the ground, the grave.
I'm not laughing.
No way,
Yeah.
Mick, you can't laugh.
I'm not laughing.
The horrible accident was captured on video. Pallbearers were carrying the casket
Yes.
of Benjamin Avils from the hearse
We
to the
get to
burial
watch it.
site, and were about to lower it into the grave when the platform around it gave way and sent about 8 men plunging into the grave. Family and friends rushed to help the men out of the grave, some of whom suffered injuries and were trapped underneath the weight of the coffin. The man was eventually laid to rest, but the family is blaming the cemetery and demanding an apology and a refund.
Pete, you ain't going to hear these stories on Fox News, are you, buddy?
Man, jeez. I'm starting to sweat.
Feel free to avoid all this stuff, Coach. Don't worry about it.
Well, we've been talking a lot about pyramids on this show.
Yeah.
There is an underwater pyramid that has been found off the coast of Taiwan, thought to be 12,000 years old.
What is going on?
Technology, along
Yeah.
with, I think, people's curiosity, they want the truth, right?
I guess. But do we really want to know? Coach, let me ask you something. No, I mean this. You're an East Baltimore guy. You grew up salt of the earth. If they tell you tomorrow, listen, Pete, aliens are real. They've been here. What do you do? Do you just kind of go, I knew it? Do you go, this is, like, how would it hit you?
I'd have some questions for them, like
Yeah.
how tall are they?
Yeah.
How fast are they?
Yeah, like, are they here to
Can they
kill
play?
us?
Can they play
Can
soccer?
They play?
Right?
How are they with their head?
They got any money?
Yeah.
They go to school? Academics? Where are they getting their? I mean, I got a lot of questions.
Yes, it's the Yanaguni Monument, an underwater formation off of Japan's Ryukyu Islands, is back in the news. Located about 82 feet below sea level, the structure features angular steps, terraces, and megaliths that resemble human-made architecture. And if confirmed as man-made, they say it could date back over 10,000 years, predating Egypt's pyramids and Stonehenge, and potentially reshaping our understanding of ancient civilizations.
So I'm looking at our show right now, watching it, Matt. The comments, my good buddy Ivano, who owns Red Eye Stock Bar, just said the video is hilarious. That's his comment.
It's tragically hilarious.
Underneath that kid says, I saw the video. Someone was seriously injured, trapped under the casket. So Ivano, like me, can't stop laughing about it, and the next lady's totally empathetic. By the way, my friend Ivano is, I got to tell you the story off air about Italian soccer. He's from Italy, and I got some stories. I can't tell them on here. I'll let him tell them. But you talk about wild.
Yeah.
He used to get picked up in his neighborhood game. They would go watch... why am I forgetting the name of this? Napoli. And they would go watch. That was his team. And Ms. Maradona, he said that there used to be a building that had the picture of the Virgin Mary and the Pope. And when Maradona signed, they covered the Pope and the Virgin Mary and put up Maradona. He said in that city, it goes Maradona, God, Maradona, the Pope, your mom. That's the ranking order.
Wow.
And Ivano, if I'm wrong, my friend, text me. Don't put it on. Don't do it in the show. Text me.
And you don't understand. Mickey did that little Italian accent.
Right. Exactly. Well, staying with underwater news, an underwater volcano has been found to be covered with thousands of giant eggs. Scientists exploring an underwater volcano off of Canada's Pacific coast made some surprising discoveries. They found that an ancient volcano, once thought to be inactive, is actually still active and releasing warm fluids into the surrounding waters. And that wasn't the most surprising part of the team's discovery. The volcano's slopes are covered with possibly up to 1 million large eggs.
Do we know what is going to hatch? I mean, eggs is one thing. What's it? Are they chickens? What is in the eggs?
Oh, wouldn't it be great if it was just aliens?
Yeah, they'll just start hatching
underwater.
But do we know what the eggs are yet?
They do. They think, a marine biologist on the team says that the eggs belong to the Pacific white skate, a deep sea fish related to rays and sharks. These skates seem to use the volcano's warmth to help incubate their eggs, which can take up to 4 years to hatch. They say that the heat likely speeds up development, giving the young skates a better chance of survival.
See, Pete,
I think this show's going to go national.
He's unbelievable, isn't it? You learn stuff on this show, don't you? He's good. Isn't he good?
This is better than ESPN.
You're damn right it is. They ain't got no damn chicken eggs on a volcano on that show.
All right, well, let's talk about there is a New York woman who is unfortunately stranded in Puerto Rico with a pet parrot right now.
What? Say that again. A woman stranded in Puerto Rico with a pet parrot.
Yeah, so it's an 81-year-old New York woman. She says she's stranded in Puerto Rico because her airline won't let her fly with her pet parrot. Her name is Maria. She says that Frontier Airlines gave her the okay to fly to the island with her African gray parrot Plucky in a carrier. However, when she got to Puerto Rico, the main airport, to return to JFK Airport earlier this month, a Frontier rep told her she had to lose the bird if she wanted to make the flight. Frontier admits that allowing the parrot on board was a mistake, adding they don't permit large birds in the cabin. She calls Plucky her emotional support animal and says that the two really bonded after she lost her husband, an NYPD employee who died of 9/11-related cancer in 2019. So I don't know. How do you get a parrot back from Puerto Rico?
I mean, I can't make that joke.
The answer.
I can't make that joke. I cannot make that joke. I won't. But I will say this. Have you ever been to Puerto Rico?
No.
It's beautiful. I mean, like, if you're going to walk around somewhere and call it home, Puerto Rico is beautiful.
Yeah.
And then you get into the cities, and it's like anywhere in the world, it's got its issues. But the Puerto Rican people they are fun, wonderful people, man. Really, if you get into that culture, it's a really good time. And I think I've learned with Puerto Rican people, if you acknowledge that they're Puerto Rican and you call them Puerto Rican and nothing else, don't make the mistake of another country just because you're ignorant. Puerto Rican people are very proud. So if I was this lady, she's 81, right? Yep. I would say my parents' favorite TV show was the one Freddie Prinze was in. He was the first famous Puerto Rican comedian. You show them respect, they're going to probably let the bird out. That's what I would do.
Yeah. Or good old Maria's just going to spend her twilight years in Puerto Rico.
I could think of worse places
buried
to
with
spend
her
it.
parrot, right?
Yeah, yeah, heck yeah. Pete, how's your parrot? What we got, bud?
So did you guys go to Hershey growing up? Hershey Park, was that a part of the childhood?
I went twice. I'm not going to lie. My 8th grade class, Catholic school, that was the big thing you waited for, to get to 8th grade.
Yeah,
we did
so
that.
Did you go to Hershey?
Pompeii,
Yeah, St. Francis. We did it. And you take the bus. You get
Bus
there
load
at 5
up.
in the morning.
Yeah.
Get to the park at 9 or whatever it was. Unload. You brought your sandwich in a brown paper bag that you didn't eat till 9 hours later. And Swiss
Right.
cheese, ham, and mayonnaise, potato chips. The bag was so greasy. Am I right, Pete? That's what it was. Hilarious. Yeah, I loved Hershey, man. I loved it.
Yeah, man. I didn't have that refreshment money at Hershey either, man. You could buy stuff there for $1 billion. But now the people behind Hershey, the company that created some of the biggest selling chocolate products in the world, are getting their own movie. So Finn Wittrock and Alexandra Daddario are set to star, with Mark Waters set to direct. Wittrock will play Milton Hershey, and Daddario will play his wife. Hershey built a go ahead.
That's a movie. Any kind of biopic like that, where somebody built something out of nothing.
Yeah.
Like, that's what the Pete Caringi story is going to be.
Yeah.
He built UMBC out of nothing.
Yeah.
They didn't even have a soccer team before you got there, did they?
Yeah.
They did not.
They broke my leg in 1974.
UMBC? What? That's who broke your leg?
First game.
And then you went
I
back and
hated UMBC.
and then you got them the most famous college in the state. Pete, you need help. What are you doing? You're helping the enemy, buddy.
Hershey built a candy empire and set up the town of Hershey, Pennsylvania, a model town for workers at its chocolate factory. The town included free education and housing to underprivileged orphans, and his charitable efforts also led to increased education, recreation centers, and more around the town. The core of Hershey, the movie, will be the special love story between Milton and Catherine Hershey, who inspired the creation of Milton Hershey School. Waters shares in a statement. He preys on the couple for believing in leaving the world a better place than they found it.
Yeah, I don't know much about the Hershey guy. I watched that Foods That Built America.
Yeah.
You ever watch that on the History Channel?
Yeah.
It was fascinating. I had a lot of respect for the Hershey guy. I thought he was cool. You know, and you saw he battled Mars and all those guys. It was wild.
Right.
It was interesting, Matt. Yeah, cool stuff.
So tell me if you'd be able to get into this restaurant, guys. There's a restaurant offering a 20% skinny discount.
What?
Yeah. So it's a...
Me and Pete can't go.
Hey, listen.
say
I can't
20%?
go either.
That's all.
Yeah, 20% discount for being skinny.
How does that work?
So it's a restaurant in Thailand. They've stirred up controversy with their skinny discount promotion.
Yeah.
And here's how it works. Customers can earn up to 20% off their meal if they can squeeze through a series of bars that have been set up at the entrance. The narrower the gap you fit through, the bigger the discount. So, for example, fitting through the smallest space gets you 20% off, while larger gaps offer smaller discounts. Unsurprisingly, this gimmick has sparked a lot of debate online. Some people find it fun and creative, appreciating the lighthearted challenge. Others, however, criticize it for promoting body shaming and unhealthy body image standards.
Screw them. Listen, let me tell you something. I'd go to that restaurant tomorrow, right? And I guarantee you I'd have to pay.
You'd be stuck. We'd have to call the fire department.
No, I'd have to pay plus 10% if I tried to go through one of them bars.
He lost.
Yeah.
He's been training.
Yeah, right.
I was going to ask him to play over 40 before I left.
Yeah. Well, listen, I'll play over 56. If they got that league,
I've never seen you play. I would love to see you play.
I played up until 15
You've
years.
never
Is
seen
that
him
right?
play?
I was terrible.
Never.
See if we can find any tape.
I was saying to you off air
My recruiting
today.
tape from Essex.
Scared Straight, season 1.
His brother Chip sent me over some recruiting tape. We were trying to get him to come.
I was saying to him off air, I said, I've known you for, I don't know how long, over 30 years.
Yeah.
And I'm just recently found out about all this soccer stuff.
Yeah, listen,
Oh, you didn't know that about him?
No.
I was not.
I knew he was a soccer
Will you
fan.
stop,
You want me to
Pete?
give
Listen,
But I didn't know he was a player,
brought
a decent player.
I brought a recruiting report.
hey, great goalie. Cannot reach midway up. Anything in the bottom corners he's getting to. That was, listen, Matt, I love the game. Do you remember Mike Rayberg?
Yeah, it's his
Mike
birthday today.
Is it really?
Yes.
Mike Rayberg, in my eyes, the greatest goalie I ever knew because he taught me everything as a kid. He was the coolest guy I ever met. I believe he also made All-American as a goalie and a field player. Am I right about that?
Yes. At Essex, he was our goalie.
Yeah.
And he made All-American. I think he made it before that.
As a player, on the field. And I adore Mike and Johnny Abe, that team. Those guys were great players, man.
Yes.
And they were really good to us.
Johnny Abe was another great player.
Unbelievable,
See,
man.
You put me, I got to go back.
I know.
I can't go back home now.
You're not going to be allowed on Bel Air
You know how
Road
many-
for 6 months,
This
Pete.
thing is ringing off the horn.
Right?
Jesus.
Got him in trouble, man. You got him in trouble.
Hey, I got things I can read off. From Hollandtown, Jake.
Yeah.
What the? Oh.
That's the news.
Yeah, heck yeah.
So there's a man in Kentucky who was recently arrested, a naked man walking down the highway, and of course, what did he say when the cops asked him what he was doing?
What did he say?
I'm going to get some pants, right? Police in Kentucky recently responded to calls about a naked man walking on a highway. When they found him, a cop asked him what he was up to, and he said, I'm going to get some pants, man. He appeared to be under the influence of something and became disorderly, repeatedly kicking the door of a patrol car. James K. King was charged with indecent exposure, public intoxication, and disorderly conduct. He also had 6 outstanding
He played
warrants.
for Pete in 97.
Probably did.
Let's do one more, Matt. Let's do one more,
All right,
buddy.
look, we can either do, we've got the list from Uber, the weirdest things left in Ubers. We could do, let me see, what's the other one I wanted to talk to you guys about? We could do what Jessica Simpson drinks to become a great singer.
You pick it and let's do it.
All right, let's do the Jessica Simpson.
Go ahead.
We should have asked Spike when he was in here yesterday. You know, singers have different remedies for when they have a sore throat.
I have
or-
one for
what is
comedy.
it?
Like,
What is
so
it?
what I do, for real, if my voice is bothering me, I drink room temperature water, and then I'll put a little bit of honey, some lemon, and some salt in it.
Yeah.
And I'll gargle with it, and then I'll try to drink without the salt. I'll drink some of it. And then I rest for about an hour and a half, 2 hours. I try not to talk, and it does help. I don't know why. And I talk a lot. And sometimes if I have to do comedy 2 shows a night and I'm doing it can wear out on me. I get like this after a while. But if I do that, and you know who gave me that secret? Steve Whiteman, the singer of Kicks.
Oh, and you know Steve. Steve trained with the best. I mean, not only
He
is
warms
Steve
up.
amazing.
I've been backstage with
yeah,
Steve. He warms
yeah.
up. He's the, you remember the band Kicks, Pete?
Yep,
He's the singer. He warms up for at least 45 minutes. The first time I met him, I'm in the dressing room.
He sings into a towel.
There was a
right?
guy yelling into a towel.
Yeah,
And I
yeah.
thought, I literally walked in the room. I'm like 19 at Hammerjacks, 20. And I walk in, and there, you talk about skinny, by the way, Steve Whiteman.
Right.
This guy's got his face in a towel. I think he's screaming, and the other 4 guys are sitting around like it's nothing. And I stare for a minute, and he looks, he takes his face out of the towel, and he looks right at me, and he goes, "How's it going?" And I said, "It's going really good." He said, "I'm just doing my little exercises." And he went back to screaming in the towel, and I walked out of the room, and it was the weirdest thing I've ever
I
seen.
mean, I don't know if you know, but vocal exercises, some of the weirdest exercises. I mean,
Yeah.
it's, you know, some of the weirdest sounds you would make, too. So it's funny if people don't know what you're doing.
I love it.
Well, I got to say, your remedy is a little bit like Jessica Simpson's, except she drinks snake sperm.
By the way,
Yeah.
my name's Snake. That's my new nickname, Snake.
Jessica Simpson has revealed she drinks snake sperm to enhance her singing voice. She tells TMZ that it really clears my throat. I'm just a great singer when I have snake sperm. Describing the taste, she noted it's like a really dark honey, is what she says.
I just wish the coach wasn't next to me right now because I could go off on this for 10 minutes, but I have too much respect for him to do it.
Yeah, like
Matt, can we come back to this story tomorrow?
We can, of course.
Yes.
Of course, yeah.
Matt, great job, everybody. That's the facts,
That's the
Matt.
fact, Matt. And thanks to our sponsor, of course, as well.
Barnes Paving, give their phone number out, please. It's right there in our notes. I want to say one thing about them before we wrap up. I started this show begging for a sponsor, and I didn't think I'd even get one. And these amazing people that own Barnes Paving, Doug and his wife Trace, they reached out to me, and they sponsored this show, and they are going to be our sponsors. They are, I got to read this, they are MHIC licensed and insured, also accredited with the Better Business Bureau, and something that I just want everyone to know. I know this man and his wife personally. They are honest, good, true Baltimore, Maryland people. They are wonderful. This business is a booming business he has, and he just believed in us, Matt. If you need a driveway, if you need that kind of work, that's what the guy does. He's incredible. And if you mention Mickey Talks, you get 10% off.
Wow, love
so
that.
this is a real thing, man.
Yeah, so
and
to
please,
find them,
everyone.
barnespaving.com. So it's BARNES paving.com.
And we're just waiting on some software for this show so we can do the video and do everything right. And that's all coming thanks to them very soon. But I wanted to get them on the air, so thank you, Barnes Paving. And the phone number one more time, Matt, is...
The phone number, I don't think we put the number
We
up,
didn't. I have
but,
it somewhere.
You can find it on the website.
Yeah, go to barnespaving.com. Anyway, Coach Pete Caringi, your 43rd annual All-Maryland Soccer Camp starts June 16th, runs through June 20th. Then you do session 2 from June 23rd to June 27th. It's held at Essex Turf Stadium. Voted one of Maryland's top camps. And I'm going to tell anyone, if you have a young kid, if you have a teenager, you want them to learn the game right. You want them to be with someone who cares not only about the game, but them, truly cares about the young adults they're going to become. Pete Caringi is a class act, and he has built a legacy for himself in this town for one reason, being who he is. If you would like to, please go to www.all-maryland.org. Sign up. It is not expensive, considering what you see around town for soccer. This is old school love of the game. Teach these kids how to play. Pete, you are one of my favorite people and characters of this town. You are a legend, And I hope anyone that sees you after this show gives you that respect, because I certainly do, my friend.
Well, I want to thank you guys. It was a great show, and I'm just glad he's back.
Oh,
Because
thank you,
I
Pete.
went to see his show not recently. Place was packed out in Perry Hall, and he did fantastic. And I've always been a big fan of Mickey, so he calls me, I'd be here.
Pete, that
For sure.
Thank
he
you.
is back, baby.
He is
That's
back.
humbling, guys.
I'm going to get a T-shirt. I'll sell it to you. Mickey's back, and you get 10% off if you rent Mickey Talks. Mickey Talks.
Hey, Pete, by the way, if you need an uncensored lunatic to come give the kids a motivational speech, let me
Thank
know,
you.
buddy.
Hey,
Hey, if you want a kid who was mediocre and used to pick grass out in the field,
I didn't know.
soccer in
so-
third
I
grade.
didn't realize he played goal.
You got-
I
you
thought
got
he
the
was a
guy.
midfielder.
So here's
I
what-
thought he was a midfielder.
So this is what happened. It's a funny story, real quick. I'll tell how I got to goal story.
Yeah.
So when we were, I guess, 10 or 11, we were playing for St. Francis or Pep. I don't remember how it was. I think it's St. Francis. We did a tournament at Loyola College. There was a big tournament. And we went down. I think we were playing 7-a-side or something. But we were using a goalie, and they did it across the field, so it's 50 or whatever. Tony Delarose was the goalie. I don't remember if he got hurt. We were so young. I think he just got sick of playing goal. Seriously, wanted to play on the field, and he was complaining. So Pep literally goes, I was playing left wing. That's where I always was, outside, left. And he goes, you want to play goal? And I'm not going to lie. I'm a show-off. I'm a hot dog. I thought I could dive. I could do all this. I'm in. That game, some reason, I don't know how it happened. This kid hit a shot, and I dove like I was freaking, Peter Schmeichel. I just made this save.
you saved it.
Everybody went crazy. Even me, I stood up like, how'd I do that? And then I was the goalie. And I fell in love with it. Then I met Mike Rayberg, and I met these other guys, and they all told me the reason I'd be a good goalie is because I'm a lunatic and I don't listen to anybody else. So I just loved it. And then when I got to about 16, I realized, yeah, I'm 5'3". It ain't happening. You know, when all of a sudden guys like Pete Eibner, his head could get up and clear it better than my hands.
right,
You're
right.
in trouble. But I love the game nonetheless.
I should have read my scouting report on Mick when I went.
Yeah.
There it is. Mickey Cachola, small, can't touch the top of the small goals. Great save, one great save. Kicked it
47 years ago.
40
Cracks the whole team up.
got everybody laughing. Very loose, not serious. Needs to get more serious.
Not much of a player, be a heck of a team spokesman.
He can go out and get a sponsorship for sure.
Killer
2 weeks.
mascot. Killer mascot.
Yes, absolutely. A great mascot. Goat Pete Caringi. Once again, all-maryland.org. Thank you, my
Thank
friend.
you.
You're a legend.
Thank you.
Everybody,
Thanks, Pete.
we are here tomorrow. Comedian T-Rex on the show. Hilarious. Gonna have so much fun. Tell all war stories. Share this show. Love it. BarnesPaving.com. Thanks, everybody. See you guys soon.